Hey, it's Mark Bunker, and I feel great. And I look spectacular. I mean, I got all gussied up for this and everything. I was going to go talk at the Clearwater City Council meeting tonight, and I just didn't feel like I would survive. It was a 4-hour meeting. No one knew it was going to be a 4-hour meeting. But a lot was taken on tonight. But what I wanted to talk about, though, was the final thing on the agenda. I used to be on the Clearwater City Council. I was on seat 2. That was my seat at the council. And I lost my reelection bid last year, and a young man named Ryan Cotton took over seat 2. And I remember, he seemed like a decent guy on the campaign trail. And when he won, I congratulated him. And from the dais, I said, "You're a good man. I'm sure you'll do a fantastic job." Something to that effect. Well, turns out that he has been David Miscavige's lapdog and wants desperately to sell a street downtown to Scientology. And when a group of African Americans came together with the Save the Garden campaign to, instead of allowing Scientology to use the street, instead turn it into a tribute to the Clearwater African American community, Ryan was adamantly opposed to that. And said essentially, that you should do that over in Greenwood, in the black community. That's where it's proper. We don't want it downtown here with all the white folk. Okay, he didn't say that, but that's how it felt. But more than racism, it was his desire to make sure that David Miscavige got the street that he wanted. And if you look at the videos of those hearings, I mean, it's clear. Ryan's pushing hard. At any rate, tonight, Scientology was not on the agenda. But the last thing on the agenda tonight was put on there by Ryan Cotton, council member, seat 2, who said, I've got a great idea. Why don't we rename Court Street, the major street that runs right past all the Scientology properties and the courthouse, as the main road down to Clearwater Beach. So everyone drives down that road. He said, why don't we take that road, and instead of Court Street, why don't we call it Charlie Kirk Way? And I tell you, when I saw that, I was not keen on the idea. Now, listen, the assassination of Charlie Kirk was horrendous. It was a nightmare. He left behind a wife and 2 kids who will not have him there to grow up. And nobody should be happy about that. I'm certainly not. When I was on the council, I got death threats. Thankfully, I'm still here for now. I had a guy, calling me and saying he wants to slice my head off. And we tracked him down, and he had to go through the court system over it. But Charlie Kirk has no connection to Clearwater. So why this would be proper here, I don't know. But as part of this wave of right-wing MAGA politicians who are trying to pay tribute to Charlie Kirk and whitewash all the negative aspects of this man's career. And here's the shocking, Charlie Kirk has said some not so nice things. A lot of people say not so nice things. None of them should be assassinated. And cutting down Charlie Kirk in the prime of his life also took away his chance to reform, to grow, to say, all right, well, you know what? Maybe I was intemperate. We'll never have that chance from him because he was taken out. And God knows, this wave of violence that's sweeping the country and all of the nonsense that's going on is scary to see what's happening in the United States right now. But let's get back to this meeting tonight. So apparently the Clearwater City Council, once the agenda was released and it said, hey, here's a great idea, let's call this Charlie Kirk Way, hey, they were flooded with emails, according to what you hear from the mayor in the course of this meeting. And so they knew this wasn't popular. And when it was introduced late in the evening, what happens? One council member can say, I want to talk about something, and I want to put that on the agenda for the next meeting. And so it goes on the agenda. I did it for Scientology a couple of times. Everyone else has to kind of listen and deal with what you want to have done. So this was put on the agenda, and you need 2 votes in order to have discussion on it. So when it came time to talk about this, Ryan said, all right, I think this is a good idea. I motion that we make this change to the street name. And then there's a call for a second for that motion. If there's a second, then the entire council votes on it. And if there are 3 votes saying yes, well, then Charlie Kirk Way, that's it. That's going to happen. Except this time, which is rare, there was no second on this suggestion. Nobody else on the council wanted to say, yeah, that's a good idea. Let's talk about that. So at that point, the mayor said, well, there you go. It's failed. And good night, everybody. But the crowd was furious that they didn't have a chance to talk on this. Rightfully so, because passions were inflamed. And by this time, it was 3 hours into the meeting before we even got to this. And a lot of folks had to leave because, they just couldn't take it all. Anyway, Mayor Rector relented and said, all right. Let's have a few people talk. 3 or 4 people want to talk. And instead, he let everyone who wanted to talk, thank God. And there were a lot of great people who came forward to explain why they were bothered by this. And they were not easy on Ryan. Justifiably so. I'm not going to be cutting in and out of this. This is just an intro so you can watch this and hopefully cheer on the people of Clearwater. If I had been on the council still, I would have been applauding each speaker. You're not supposed to do that. I did that in one meeting where I really believed in what these folks were talking about. So I showed my support from the dais. And without people, here's the thing about public comments, too. On the council, it's a tradition you don't respond to anything. So there is one person who says, well, Mr. Cotton, what do you think? Is that what, are you a racist? Is that it? I'm not mocking her. I think that's a great line of questioning that she raised. And Ryan just sits there. And then he eventually said, well, it's a tradition. We don't respond to that. But the time it took for him to explain that, he just could have said, no, I'm not. Would have been a lot easier. And you're not really breaking any major rules to do that. Anyway. Damn, I look good. Anyway, why don't we get to it? I'm just going to throw this whole big chunk up there. I hope you have the patience or interest in watching this. I think it's an important moment in Clearwater history, actually. I think this is one of the most important discussions, maybe, that has been had on the council recently. So let's give it a look.
So agenda item 10.2, I'm bringing this item before council because of Charlie Kirk, who was assassinated for standing unapologetically for the very principles that form the bedrock of our republic: free speech, open dialogue, and the right to hold open and honest debate without the fear of violence. Whether one agrees with him or not, the idea that one person can be silenced for their belief should disturb every one of us in this room. This proposal is not about headlines or political theater. It is about honoring a civic principle that protects everyone: the freedom to speak, to disagree, and to be heard. In Clearwater, we should be able to meet the ideas with ideas, not silence. We should strive to be a place where neighbors treat one another with respect, where we hear every voice, not just the ones we agree with, and where we dig deep, even when we disagree. I bring this forward not because I expect unanimous agreement, but because I believe every voice should matter in the city. And I reject the idea that our civic spaces should only reflect one side of the American conversation. This is about courage, not comfort. It's about ensuring that values of liberty and open discourse.
Folks, please let the council member continue. If we get an agenda item, if we get some action, you'll have a chance to come up and talk, but let's all be respectful and let him say what he needs to say.
Thank you, sir. I bring this forward not because I expect unanimous agreement, but because I believe every voice should matter in this city. And I reject the idea that our civic spaces should only reflect one side of the American argument. This is about courage, not comfort. It's about ensuring that our values of liberty and open discourse are preserved for everyone in Clearwater. I understand this is not universally popular, but leadership isn't about taking polls, it's about standing firm for what matters. I believe this is the right thing to do for Clearwater, and I welcome the open and honest conversation that comes with it. So with that, if somebody would like to make a second, I will make a motion so that these people can come and have opportunity to speak.
Folks, please order. Folks, we have to maintain order or we can't continue the meeting. Okay, so please let the council deliberate and then we'll have an opportunity.
100% sure what happened there. It's a multitude of people, so these people. I'll make a motion to continue to support this endeavor going forward. If somebody would like a second, just to allow everybody to speak.
Please, we can't have discussion up here if we can't hear each other talk because there's so much noise in the back. So if you can't hold your emotion right now, I'm going to have to ask you to leave because we can't talk and even get to the point where we can invite you to have comment if we can't talk first. So thank you for helping us. Okay. So is there a second to the motion? Okay. So the motion dies for lack of a second. Okay. Folks, please, we're gonna ask you one more time. If you can't maintain order, help us maintain order, we're gonna have to ask everybody to leave. Okay. So thank you for coming tonight. We know you all had this on the agenda to talk about, and we may continue to talk about it. I want to talk about, even though, folks, really, if you got a conversation, please exit. I do want to talk about what you brought up because I think obviously not everybody agrees with honoring Charlie Kirk, but I didn't want tonight to be a debate about Charlie Kirk. To me, that doesn't honor Charlie Kirk. There are differences of opinions, and we are hearing many of those. We've got many of the emails. I would like us to talk briefly about how we name things after folks in Clearwater. Historically, my understanding, we've been really conservative on parks, buildings, anything after anyone. I think the city clerk shared with me earlier this year about how we name things that historically it's only been posthumously.
Yes.
Yeah. But, naming a street is a big deal. And then some of the folks that have written in, it's been pointed out, not whether it's for Charlie Kirk or somebody else, it's a big deal because it changes the number of, it changes everybody's address. There's all those things you got to go through. So I think it's good that as a community, we've been slow and gradual to consider this kind of thing. I'm not sure 19 days after Charlie Kirk passed, it's time to look at it, but I would like for us to talk about how we honor maybe others who have served Clearwater for many, many years. Folks, work with me, okay? I'm trying to get us out of here. I'm just trying to move a discussion. I would like to see us in an upcoming work session talk about how we honor folks with naming all kinds of things. It doesn't have to be a street, it could be a park asset, it could be a building, but this council certainly hasn't talked about doing that for anybody some time we've been on. And I don't know when's the last time we named even a ball field after somebody in honor. It's been a while, I think.
Actually, the ball field was recently, within the last 12 months, there was a petition before council to rename a ball field. I apologize, I don't remember his name, but that was recent.
But I'd like to see us have a upcoming council meeting discussion on how we honor folks, because some of my questions tonight were, what can we do? What can we not do? What can we name and what can we not name? And I think an upcoming work session to have that discussion.
May I? Yeah. So I've got the same emails you've got, if not probably more, because we can see the applause of what happened here. And that's okay. That's what I'm literally coming at. I want you guys to be able to come here and voice your opinions, and I'm actually glad that you did. That's what this whole thing is about. So I'm all for a process, and there are a multitude of people. And it's not that I was doing this because Charlie Kirk passed away. He was assassinated literally this is summed up in one sentence. Charlie Kirk was assassinated for bringing a second mic, and that was for allowing you to challenge him and to have the open and honest dialogue that I'm talking about. So,
Folks, we're getting very close to the end of the meeting. We can't just. Okay?
So with
we're already
that-
through our agenda, but I'm just asking you just to take a deep breath and just relax for a minute and let us finish our meeting, okay? This is the last time I'm going to ask. We're going to clear the room after this.
So with that being said, I don't take it lightly. I think it is something big, but that was the reason in which I was doing it, because of those values of open and honest dialogue, to hear what other sides have to say. Because if we constantly just sit in silence about being berated and not wanting to say what you feel needs to be said, then we don't make it anywhere, and there is going to be further division and further people that are stifled. But if we're able to come together and voice our differences of opinion, kind of like I'm doing now in front of 200 people, you know where I stand with that, and I would love to hear where you stand with it. I have no problem with that. That's what we do.
Folks, you can write us. You can call him. He'll talk to you. But this is the last time I'm going to say this. If you cannot hold yourself, if you can't be polite and respectful, please leave now. That's the last time I'm going to say this. It's ridiculous. We're all adults. Let the gentleman to continue his thoughts. The last time I'm going to ask you, and then we're just going to have to clear the room. That's unfortunate. I'm glad that you all came out. You felt strongly about it, but can you not just hold your voice for just a minute? We're almost done. Let the gentleman finish, and then we'll move on to the next agenda item, and then we'll adjourn the meeting.
So again, I knew the gravity, and that's why I, as a council member, have the ability to put something on the agenda. I've followed what this council has asked. I did not just put a single line item. I followed the rules of what I now know we can do and not violating sunshine, and put as much of a description as I could in order to hopefully have a discussion going forward. I am no way opposed to naming other streets or parks or ball fields against anybody that's important in this area. I am fully open for that discussion, of which I've responded to many of you to that. However, as stated, that's why I saw this as important. Again, it's for the American spirit of open dialogue, to make sure that I know how each and every single one of you feel, truly, I mean that, and then how I can help, or we can come to a solution together to make Clearwater best. I am only one person. You are one person, but together we make the multitude that can lift everything up and move this place forward better for generations to come. So, I mean, that's just why I was doing what I was doing, and I look forward to seeing whatever we wanted to see. Again, I want everybody in this room to know, I see you. I made the motion to allow you to try and speak, and it was shot down. So I wanted to hear from you. I made that motion. That's what it takes to hear from the public. And here we are, so.
Thank you for letting him finish, okay? Anything else from the council on this agenda item? We'll move to agenda item 11. Yeah.
Council members, just for the public, the reason why public comment is not going to be taken because the motion dies, so there is nothing to discuss.
Yeah. Thank you. We're not moving forward.
He wants to know what people in this area feel and how they feel.
Okay, well, look, okay, we're gonna take public comment, okay? But can I share with you that I think we've probably received more emails on this than we've received on any other thing. If you've already written to us, we've probably read your email. We're not taking action on this, the motion died, but we are gonna take public comment. So at this time, everybody if you wanna speak, give your comment card to the.
Good evening, City Council. My name is Dr. Jennifer Griffin. I actually live in St. Petersburg, but I used to work up here, and I was quite disturbed when I heard about this proposal that you submitted, Cotton. I'm just going to quote Charlie Kirk. If I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified. It's happening all the time in urban America. Prowling blacks go around for fun to go target white people. That's a fact. It's happening more and more. If I'm dealing with somebody in customer service who's a moronic black woman, I wonder if she's there because of her excellence or is she there because of affirmative action? You had to go and steal a white person's slot to go be a token and to be taken somewhat seriously. The American Democrat Party hates this country. They want to see it collapse. They love it when America is less white. Those are exact quotes from Charlie Kirk. What the media is not doing is they are not playing his quotes. And I am dressed in my normal occupational attire here to let you know that along with Ketanji Brown Jackson, Michelle Obama, Sheila Jackson Lee, and Joy Reid, I am a black woman who is absolutely educated. And it was not given to me because I'm black. My father was a lawyer who was educated at Harvard Law School. That was not given to him because he was black. So I want you to know that as you try and deify Charlie Kirk, you are also deifying white supremacy. And do you want white supremacy to reign here in Clearwater? I ask you. I ask you. Answer.
Yeah. Please, it's her time at the microphones, please do.
My time is not up yet.
No, I'm trying to get them to quiet down so you can finish.
So I want to ask you, is white supremacy the rule of law here in Clearwater? I'm asking him because he's the
Ma'am,
one who
ma'am,
proposed
ma'am, this is your-
deifying this person.
Ma'am, this is your time to make a presentation to us. So.
Okay. So what I am
So
saying.
if I may, real quick, because it's not being conveyed, this is your time to speak. We don't speak back
Okay,
to
I
you.
won't-
That's how this
then
works.
that's
So
fine.
I'm not trying not to answer you. I was waiting for that to be
All I did was
clarified.
quote verbatim what Charlie Kirk's words were. Are those divisive words? Are those collective words that bring you in? No. Those are
Thank you,
words
ma'am.
of hate.
Thank you, ma'am. Yeah. Next speaker? Yeah.
Good evening, council. My name is Jonathan Wade, lifelong resident of the city of Clearwater, president of NAACP, and I'm here tonight just to say, first of all, thank you for not seconding the motion that allowed this issue to die. Mr. Kirk didn't have ties to Clearwater. He didn't have anything that he brought to Clearwater. And the council, as you know, is nonpartisan, and he was definitely conservative right-wing. And his claim to fame is he helped college students get elected to help President Trump get elected. And we're in a time in our life where the laws and rules that we've gained are being rolled back. And from the national office of the NAACP, and I spoke to our national chairman, he had a resounding no on this issue, and I'm glad that you saw fit to not allow it to move forward. There are many people in Clearwater who have already served, as you already stated, Mayor, that have contributed to the city. You know, I sat on the development boards for 12 years of Parks and Rec. I sat on the mayor's task force for 4 years. I've given a lot of my time to the city of Clearwater. I don't want any honor or anything, but what I do want is to not be placated or to have people be disrespectful to the pain that certain individuals cause African Americans, and to want to name a street after him speaks volumes. And I'm glad you guys nixed that, and that's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Wade. Next speaker?
Mayor, Commissioners, my name is Eleanor Breland. I'm a fourth-generation Clearwaterian. And in case you didn't understand why people were upset with you earlier, it was because you referred to people out there who are citizens and registered voters and just people with having interests, because you referred to them as you people, or those people. I don't know exactly which one you said because I can't remember. I was just so incensed. That is a racist comment. That's the way African Americans were referred to or are referred to by white conservative Americans. Those people, you people. Nobody likes to be referred to as that. If you had said citizens or the people, that's one thing, but not that. Okay. Going back to the subject, as Reverend Wade said, Mr. Wade, this gentleman, I don't think anybody should be assassinated or killed. I don't know why his was an assassination instead of just a shooting, but if you want to put it up to an assassination, fine. But nobody should be killed like that, and my heart goes out to his wife and his children. But people are killed or assassinated every day, and we don't name streets after them. That's the problem I had with trying to name a street after somebody that had nothing to do with Clearwater, Nothing really to do with society that was peaceful, wanting people treated respectfully, these kinds of things that are the values supposedly of this country. If those are the values that we hold dear, then we definitely don't need to name a street after somebody that puts down a segment of that population, a segment of our population. I'm not in the group, but I respect them enough not to denigrate them publicly over and over again. This is wrong. God told us to love everybody, and you can't love them if you're going to put them down and denigrate them. And that's why I don't want a street, definitely not the main street that comes into Clearwater with all of the millions of visitors that come here year in and year out, named after him. Absolutely not. It doesn't have anything to do with how he died or who respects his opinion or whatever it is. I think he had a right to say whatever he needed to say to whoever wanted to listen without being killed.
Thank you, ma'am. Yeah. Next speaker, please.
Thank you for allowing me the time.
Yeah.
My name is Jack Robinson III. When I saw on TV that you wanted to name a street after a man that thought that I shouldn't get the chance to go to college, I called my father. I was worried. I am an Irish, Italian, African-American male. I cut people open and I save their lives every day. And I have had to live through being the black man, not the Irish, Italian, African-American. I'm always the black man. I walk in to surgery and I'm checked by the security guard, but the guy, and I wear a shirt and tie every day when I walk in the hospital, but the guy that looks like he's gonna blow the place up, nobody says anything to. And for some reason, you wanted to name a street after a man who thinks my sister, who graduated #1 in her class, she didn't earn that. She didn't work her butt off. For a man that made statements like, I don't know, he didn't love our country. He hated me. He hated everything about my life. I go to City Life Church. I'm an active member. I work with the kids there. And I have to look at kids. I've been told when I got there that we need another one like you. They didn't mean the way they didn't truly, deeply mean what they said, but they did. Oh, well, there's lots of single moms or dads out there, there's boys that need somebody like you in their life. And I have to look at a kid and say, I don't know why they hate you. I grew up in a very racist town in Girard, Ohio. And I didn't know it was racist until I was 30 years old, when somebody told me, well, when they called you mild Caucasian, they were making fun of your family because you were good enough to talk to and fix their cars, because that's what my dad did, but not good enough to have dinner at their house. I didn't understand. I'm sorry. I didn't understand how an area that has nothing to do with an individual at all. He's not from here. I'm not from here, but I'm active in the community, big time. I am with Back to School. I help out with some state representatives. I do anything and everything. I don't have kids. It's just me. And we wanted to name a street after someone. And you made the statement of all the positive that this guy did. Yeah, he talked to people and he got people to vote, great. But in the same sentence, he got people to hate. He said it was okay to murder somebody because, hey, sometimes we just have to have a few of those people to lose out on. What on God's green earth do you think that is safe and possible for anybody? And I know I got 10 seconds, so I'll close with, there is nowhere in the Bible where we are taught to honor evil, and how you died does not redeem how you lived.
Thank you,
You do
sir.
not become
Thank
a
you,
hero
sir.
in death
Thank you, sir.
when you were a weapon and the enemy
you,
of your
sir.
life.
Thank you, sir. Next speaker, please.
Thank you for the time.
Thank you.
Good evening, council members. My name is Ramesh Chaudhry, and I'm a resident of the city of Clearwater. I have written some stuff down, and I didn't realize it's going to get this emotional. I am a Muslim immigrant that moved to this country in 2002 to go to school. I have a degree in finance. I was on Wall Street for 7 years before I decided to move to Florida. Clearwater is the only place I've ever lived in when it comes to Florida. Everyone has been very loving. Most of the people have been very loving. We have difference of opinions, and that's what makes us beautiful, right? You have a right to speak, I have a right to speak, we have a right to disagree, we have a right to live together. Having said that, this is what I wrote, so I'm gonna go ahead with that. Good evening, I read that. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak. Unfortunately, a massive number of concerned citizens left as this was taking too long. I'm here today to voice my strong opposition to renaming one of our streets after Charlie Kirk. Street names are not just signs, they are permanent markers of what our community chooses to honor. They reflect our shared values and send a message to future generations about what we are and what we stand for. Charlie Kirk is a highly divisive political figure whose rhetoric and consistently fueled polarization, misinformation, and hostility. Whether one supports his policies or not, there is no denying that his name represents controversy rather than unity. Our streets should honor individuals who have made broad, positive contributions to society, people who bring communities together, not divide them apart. He was not even from here. Why are we not talking, if we are gonna honor someone, why are we not talking about the children of Parkland or Pulse nightclub? Why are we bringing this one individual here? It's mind-boggling. Back to my story. We have countless local leaders, educators, veterans, civil rights advocates, and community servants who embody the very best of our city and who have truly earned the recognition of a street name. Why overlook them in favor of a national political personality whose legacy is still unfolding and whose impact is deeply disputed? By naming a street after him, we risk cementing division into this very fabric of our society and our city. I urge the council to choose a name that reflects unity, progress, and service, qualities that everyone, or most people, in our society and our community can take pride in. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Reba Harrison, and I'm from the city of Clearwater. Mr. Cotton, you spoke on inclusion and not exclusion. Mr. Kirk has done a lot in the community and for our nation when it comes to gun violence. But I'm a product that's from the city of Clearwater. I am first generation the city of Clearwater. My mother has been a sole proprietor in this city for 52 years. I worked for the city of Clearwater. It's my first job, summer program. I could not believe that we were considering naming anything after a man that could say that my single black mother raised me to be a proud citizen of my city of Clearwater, my first job being the city of Clearwater, me graduating from Clearwater High, me graduating from the University of South Florida, me graduating from St. Leo with my master's in business, my master's in social work, to turn around and be a proud black woman to drive down the middle of my city named after that prejudiced individual. And I know that my city has busted its tail for 50 of my years to not be a diverted, excluded city. As a child, I could not drive in the car without seeing racial hate and people being pulled out of cars, beat up, going through North Greenwood because of racial inequality. The economic distribution patterns in this city sucked. And I'm a product that says that it can change. Change is supposed to be the city of Clearwater's name. I'm a product of what change looks like for the city of Clearwater. And it was so disappointing that that could even be a possibility. And that's what I have to say. Thank you.
Firstly, I want to say thank you for not seconding this proposal. This proposal was to rename the street to Charlie Kirk Way.
Excuse me.
My
Yeah.
name is Alex,
To the clerk.
and I am
Thank
from
you.
Clearwater.
Yeah.
I'd like to address this specifically, Charlie Kirk Way, okay? I'm not here to debate politics. I'm trying to help you understand why, like, what embodies the Charlie Kirk Way. So in 2023 at a Turning Point USA convention, he stated that we made a huge mistake when we passed the Civil Rights Act in the 1960s. This is the Charlie Kirk Way. Charlie was very vocal about his views on social media and on his podcast, once referencing black women by saying that they do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken seriously. This is the Charlie Kirk Way. He stated publicly that transgender people are an abomination to God, and, as another constituent said, that prowling blacks go around for fun to target white people. This is the Charlie Kirk Way. When asked about the genocide in Gaza, he denied the atrocities committed by Israel and proceeded to state that there's no such thing as Palestinians or Palestine. They do not exist. That I, as a Palestinian American, do not exist. This is the Charlie Kirk Way. So I'd like to leave you with this. Charlie Kirk did share his views and beliefs openly with the world. These are just a few of them. That is freedom of speech. But it is also white supremacy. By even proposing to rename this street Charlie Kirk Way, not only are you normalizing white supremacy, but you are showing our communities that you stand with Charlie Kirk, but against our black and brown families, against our Palestinian loved ones, and against our LGBTQ neighbors. That you would be embracing and embodying these views, because that would have been the true Charlie Kirk Way. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name's Courtney. I moved here 11 years ago. I've been a homeowner for 10. I moved when it was a low cost of living, affordable housing. Bought my home, luckily, then. I was a little irritated with this for the fact of there wasn't much thought put into it. I feel like when you put that motion up, Kirk said about women, the only reason they should go to college is to get their MRS degree. And they should do it while they're young and attractive to be able to obtain that MRS degree. I obtained my Bachelor's of Science degree in Organizational Leadership, and I just finished my Master's of Science in Leadership from Duquesne University. So I think besides being sexist, toxic masculinity, racist, homophobic, all the other things, it just, for you to do this, not only to yourselves, to make this motion, but to everyone else to stay here this late and to put it at the very end of the agenda, I feel like, was there any kind of thought put into that at all? I just feel like in this type of world we're living in, the upside down, more sensitivity, more thought, and we actually have issues. We're flooding from just storms, not a regular hurricane. Has anything been done about that instead of talking about let's change the name of a road?
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor. Good to see you. Vice Mayor, Sporia, Chief Slaughter, Councilman. My name is Pastor Childs, President of Upper Providence County Ministry Alliance Pastors. Scripture tells us to, in all we get an understanding. And I really didn't know Mr. Kirk, didn't follow him, and I'm really sorry that he lost his life. Nobody should lose their life like that. Mr. Cotton, you've called me before, and only reason I'm here because when I got the word that it was you that made this proposal, Scripture said, we get good understanding. And I was trying to understand what you were thinking when you talked, and I heard what you were thinking. And I would like to say that Scripture also said to win souls, you must be wise. That's not a wise decision. If you're trying to gain the support from the African American community, not a wise decision. Very not wise. Somebody that had no ties to Clearwater. And I began to research some of the things that he said, and some of the things that he said is a slap in the face to the black community. We're tired of being slapped in the face. We're tired of being slapped in the face. It's not going to divide us, it's going to make us stronger. But it's going to divide you and us when you make decisions like this. I would have voted to name the road after Mayor Rector. I would have voted to name after Mr. Slaughter. But Charlie Kirk. Then I thought about another gentleman that lived on Court Street, Mac Dixon Sr. Yeah, he lived there, right there on Court Street. The first black establishment where the St. Matthew Cemetery still sits. And I was trying to figure out how and what you were thinking. Wrong message, wrong man, wrong city, wrong place, wrong season. With all of the more serious issues we got in Clearwater, why name a street? We got a lot of more things we need to be concerned about. The pastors are against this, and I appreciate y'all taking our comments. Mayor Rector, it was the right thing to do, let the people talk. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, council people. My name is Clifford Mills. I was finishing concrete this morning when my wife called me and told me that a cousin of mine informed her that someone had put forth a motion to name a street after that fellow. And I had to really sit down and take a minute and say, who in God's name would do that? Yes. And why? See, that's the question right now. Why? How did you align yourself with that ideology that doesn't sit well with anyone but those people who follow? And they've been trained to follow. They've been guided to follow. And it's sad. A young lady came up here and said she was a fourth generation Clearwater resident. I am too. My father had to sell a business back in the 40s. His business was Park Street, just down from 5 Points on Greenwood, behind the bear that sat in a cage. He was forced to sell his business because some people came by and said they were going to blackball him because he was one of the first, and I mean the first in the state of Florida, to use mercury to make mirrors. And there are some mirrors still in Clearwater in some residences that my father made. And because he didn't want to reveal how that was done, certain people, certain elements of the society came by and said, look, you got to get out of here. So he had to sell his business to Norm Kirkland, which was Glass Service Company right on Court Street, 644. I know that address in my sleep. My father was a captain in the Army Air Corps. He had 2 majors from, I think it was Atlantic Memorial or something like that, and I'm getting brain fog right now. My mother had 2 master's and a bachelor's degree from Florida A&M University. She raised 4 kids right on Palm Bluff Street. My father couldn't buy a house. He had to get a Norm Kirkland to pay $1 for a house to have it moved over there, and my father and my uncle refurbished the house right there. My father and mother wouldn't let us ride the city bus because he didn't want us to be subjected to going to the back of the bus. So we never rode the bus. We walked to downtown, across to what they call the Heights, which would be on the south side of Cleveland Street, from our home in Palm Bluff. Wouldn't let us go to the movies until they had safeguards on Cleveland Street for us to go watch the movies. And that was late.
Thank you, sir.
But this name, for this guy, I don't know how you even come up to even suggest that kind of crap. Though. It's mind-boggling.
Thank
really.
you, sir. Yeah, thank you, sir. Let's speak.
Thank you. My name is Patricia McDaniel. So many eloquent speakers, mine may not come close to that. A city council has the duty to act in the best interests of its residents. And one of those things is to foster a sense of true community through fair, transparent, and responsible decision-making. This resolution does not do that. Charlie Kirk's murder was tragic, and no one should lose their life for their views. But naming Clearwater Street after him does not honor our city. He was not a resident of Clearwater or of Florida. His work did not serve our community. While some admire him and his views and skills as a debater, many experience his rhetoric as divisive and exclusionary. To rename Court Street for him would suggest that Clearwater endorses a narrow vision of who belongs here: Christian, white, straight, and male-oriented. That is not who we are. I have lived in Clearwater for 47 years. I have taught and counseled students in Pinellas County schools. I have witnessed firsthand diversity, resilience, and strength of our people. Clearwater is a community of many faiths, races, orientations, and backgrounds. We should honor that diversity, not diminish it. If the council believes Court Street should be renamed, there are countless men and women who have devoted their lives to this city, people who build bridges across differences, served the vulnerable, and strengthened our neighborhood. This decision is not about one man. It is about the values we choose to elevate, the message we send to our children, and the legacy we leave for the future. Let us not choose division. Thank you.
I have a statement to read on behalf of my friend Greta Finney, who had to leave early because she wasn't feeling well. It is a costly mistake to change Court Street to Charlie Kirk Way. I'm opposed to changing the name of Court Street to Charlie Kirk Way. As a landlord in the city of Clearwater and retiree who has worked for decades in the city, I urge you, reject this ill-advised consideration to rename Court Street to Charlie Kirk Way. As a concerned resident of Clearwater, and on behalf of other residents and property owners in the area, I believe this change would have a negative impact on our community. Melbourne City Council just voted down a proposal to rename a street after Charlie Kirk. Some worried it would deter businesses from investing in the area. Others said the political activist wasn't from the area and shouldn't be memorialized. Another council member thought he was too controversial and would further divide the community. Renaming a public road to honor a controversial figure will cause trauma to marginalized communities, create public division, and disrespect the historic struggle against injustice. Such actions also ignore the significant costs and negative public reception often associated with these changes. It's already causing public harm and division. Place names are not neutral. For marginalized groups living on or traveling down a street named for someone who promoted racist beliefs can be a source of constant pain and trauma. Cruelty should not be a feature of bright and beautiful Clearwater. It undermines community. Renaming can become a flashpoint for political and social battles, creating significant division within a community. It is foolhardy and valueless to pit residents against each other and against local government. It damages a community's reputation. In a globalized world, a community's decision reflects its character and can affect its public image. Deliberately renaming such an important thoroughfare to honor such a divisive figure can harm a community's reputation.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Next time, thank you.
Good evening. Patricia Barris from Bel Air. Obviously, all the comments before me make the point, but I'm still going to read my statement anyway. Renaming Court Street to Charlie Kirk Way is extremely divisive and would unnecessarily divide the community. The name Charlie Kirk Way is not a welcome mat. For the subset of the population that may find this appealing, there will be just as many that will be repelled. Some people and some visiting tourists will no longer feel welcome in the downtown area of the city of Clearwater. So rather than focusing on how to make the city of Clearwater better from an economic and infrastructure standpoint, divisive politics seems to be the goal of this proposal. The guy had less than 5 million followers globally. So if you do the math on 117,000 residents in Clearwater, that is less than 1% of a following. Hopefully the residents of Clearwater are paying attention and have their eyes wide open when re-election time comes.
Yeah, ma'am. Yeah. Thank you,
Addie,
ma'am.
citizen of Clearwater, thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. While I am deeply saddened by the tragic nature of Mr. Kirk's passing, I believe this is neither the appropriate way nor the appropriate time to pursue such action. Court Street is not just another road. It carries deep historic meaning to Clearwater and Pinellas County. Its name is rooted in the construction of the Pinellas County Courthouse, which was completed in 1918. That courthouse was designed by well-known architect Francis J. Kennard and is listed as a National Register of Historic Places. It stands as the very first permanent building in our county erected to serve as a seat of government. In 2015, the city of Clearwater itself, in partnership with the Pinellas County Historic Preservation Board, designated the courthouse as a local historic landmark. This building represents more than 100 years of civic history. To erase that by renaming Court Street would diminish our shared heritage. Beyond history, there are practical issues. Court Street is not only a city street, but also State Road 60. That means changing its name will require time and resources from both the city staff and the state. It will take taxpayers' dollars to replace signage, update maps, and adjust wayfinding systems. Those are resources that could be better directed to the community's pressing issues, like infrastructure, supporting affordable housing, funding public safety, or helping residents recover from hurricanes. I respect that Charlie Kirk had supporters, and I respect his right to his views. But we must also be honest. He was a deeply divisive character. Unlike other leaders, such as Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., whose legacy is rooted in unity, equality, and a vision that sought to bring people together, Mr. Kirk's public voice often did the opposite. He represented the perspective of some, but not the whole of our community. Naming a major historic thoroughfare after Mr. Kirk risks sending a message that we as a city are willing to honor figures who divide rather than unite. I ask you to consider this. If we are going to rename streets or public places, should we not focus on honoring local heroes, people who have built Clearwater, who served our community directly, who embody values of unity, service, and compassion? We have teachers, first responders, veterans, civic leaders, volunteers who have dedicated their lives to Clearwater. Those should be the streets, the names on the streets that our children should see. Those are the figures who truly represent the best of us.
Thank you, ma'am. Yeah.
Thank you.
Hello, thank you. My name is John Palm from Lutz, and I'd like to first say I'm very glad that the motion was not seconded and was not forwarded. I would hope that much more careful consideration in the future would be given to not only naming a street, but to naming anything after Charlie Kirk. It's a shame. I mean, it's a horrible tragedy that the young man was gunned down. That never should have happened. But for goodness sake, when you're going to name something after somebody, please do the research. Please know what he's known for. A lot of the quotes have been shared. I'd like to share a few more. In reference to the Democratic Party, He said, "The Democratic Party supports everything that God hates." In regards to feminism, he said, "To reject feminism, submit to your husband. You're not in charge."
Yeah, yeah. Sir, just look at us.
Okay. I'm getting...
Turn your back, we have to stop.
Okay. In regards to George Floyd, he said this guy was a scumbag. Okay? And in regards to Martin Luther King, he said MLK was awful. He was not a good person. He said one good thing and he actually didn't believe. And finally, in regards to empathy, he said, "I can't stand the word empathy, actually. I think empathy is a made-up New Age term that does a lot of damage. For heaven's sakes, do you want to be known for bigotry and hatred, or do you want to be known for empathy and compassion? Empathy is the basis of the golden rule. It's the basis of almost every formal religion in the world. Do you want to be known for empathy and compassion, or bigotry and hatred? Please consider that carefully, always in the future." Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Christine, Chris Michaelek, as you know, Council, I'm glad to be here, and I'm glad you're giving us the opportunity to speak. And you know this is not the first time I've spoken before you. I would like to share with you that I'm honored and privileged to be here today with all these people, because I believe that this has been an education for all of us. It also supports one of my favorite quotes, which is, "Each of us is one injustice away from activism." Each of us is one injustice away from activism. I am happy and thrilled and excited that a second was not given to Councilman Cotton's motion, but I do have a question. Having come before the council before and having had the experience, I was aware and told that no agenda item can be put on the agenda unless 3 council people agree to it. That might have changed. I'm hoping that has changed, because in October of last year, we approached you with a motion and we were told we did not have 3 council people to support it. So let me just say that if any one of you supported this for the agenda, I am glad that you changed and listened to what had come before you. I'm not going to continue with what you've been told before, because you know. But I would ask you to reconsider, if that has not been the case, that in the future, before anything is put on the agenda, that 3 council members must agree to it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Good evening, Council. My name is Andrea Evans-Dixon, and I'm glad, Mayor Rector, that you allowed the comments to come forth. I will not delay or diminish any of the comments that have come forth. They've all been accurate, they've all been factual, and they've all been said out of their hearts and with sincerity. I'm going to simply play a quick clip for someone that has been mentioned in one of the comments, and that is just simply so that we understand that we are not so far away from something that was said in the 60s. And as you listen to this clip, may those things and the numbers that you hear be reflective of what's happening in this city, because we do have a massive responsibility. We just sat through a presentation from Duke Energy, which could bring on more massive responsibilities, more importantly than renaming a street. So here we go.
I'm going to be honest enough to tell you that I'm worried about America. Yeah. I'm worried about our nation because it's sick with racism still. Just think about the fact that we live in a nation which was founded on the principle that all men are created equal. And yet men are still arguing over whether the color of a man's skin determines the content of his character. And I believe that the Lord told me to say to the United States of America that is sick with militarism and is sick with excessive materialism. Have you ever thought about it? There are between 38 and 50 million people in the United States of America who are poverty-stricken, making income less than the poverty level. And yet, this is the richest nation in the history of the world.
Thank you.
I should say good night, but it's good evening. Thank you all for allowing us to speak. My name is Loretta Hunter. I'm from 505 North Washington Avenue. We're still standing from the hurricane. All I want to say, or to remind you, when you said these people, you guys, we are actually your constituents. We are the taxpayers. We are your citizens. That was the part that upset me the most, that made me want to speak. Because without us, where would you be? So can you acknowledge us for who we really are and not these people, those people, these guys, you guys? I'm not your buddy in the gym that I'm your guy. I'm your constituent. I'm your taxpayer. I'm your client, however you want to look at it. Can you acknowledge us as that? That was what everybody got upset about with you, was when you said these people, you guys. Who are these people? That was the issue. So can you at least realize we are your citizens? We are the citizens of Clearwater. We are the taxpayers. Thank you. That's all I have to say. I just want
If I might ask, how many more speakers do we have? Just 4? Okay. Well, we have a council rule that limits public comment to 60 minutes, which can be extended by the council, but do we want to go ahead and extend it for these 4?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, well, thank you. We have agreement to extend it, so we just want to see who else wanted to speak. So go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Paulette Mack, and I just want to, I found out last night that the city of Clearwater was thinking about renaming Court Street. And I would like to address Councilman Cotton. You said that this was not political. However, the fact that you want to take this down Court Street, where our court system sits, it is very political. The fact that you want to take it down Court Street lets me know you want everyone to see that we celebrate Charlie Kirk. The fact that you want to take it down Court Street tells me not only are you celebrating him, but you're calling all of those followers to come to the city of Clearwater. You know what? This year has been a trying year. I don't know about you all, but it's been trying for me. It's been very trying because all I hear about is black people are not qualified. Black people have their jobs because of DEI. I don't have my job because I'm not qualified. I'm overqualified. I don't have my job because of DEI. I have my job because I'm qualified. And to bring the name Charlie Kirk into the city of Clearwater, I thought about it. I said, he didn't live here. He didn't do anything for the city of Clearwater. If he did, I'm not aware of it. And for my take on it, I think someone said it earlier, bad decision. Because what you're telling your black constituents is that you don't care about us. You're telling us, I want to honor Charlie Kirk. And that says to me, I can't vote you out of office because I don't live in Clearwater. But guess what? Those are your constituents. I can fight like hell with them to get you out of office. And anybody else, I know how to walk the streets, and I'm not a street walker, but I know how to walk the streets to get votes. So remember, I know you just got in office. Enjoy it, because we're going to put you out of office. And anybody else that does not do your job, that's what we're going to do. We're going to vote you out. Thank you.
Good evening, Lisa Lanza. I'll give a card. I just wanted to say that many people left because it was just too long. There were school teachers here, mothers and other workers, and they had to go home. So when you know there's something controversial like this, because this has happened many, many times over the years, there's something very controversial, even though people may not even come to the podium, they want to be in the room and they want to give support, but they can't stay till odd hours, or they didn't even know, like, how long is this meeting going to go on? So if you know it's a controversial topic, please put it at the beginning of the meeting so people can come, say what they have to say, and leave, and not at the end like this. And also, affirmative action also helped women. And I could say as a woman, I went into a male-dominated field, and I hate to give my personal story, but I'm going to, because I worked very hard and I had it all together to get this particular promotion. That would have really changed my life. And I know I was at the top of the list because I did a FOIA, because it was a government agency. And that job was given to a man who was a veteran who already had a job with the state government. And you're not allowed to use veterans preference twice. But this white man used veterans preference twice, and I lost that opportunity. And it really, I mean, it's okay, things all worked out, they always do. But it was heartbreaking for me because I really thought, you know, all of my efforts were gonna come to, anyway, that's my little personal story. But women also are affected and have been helped. Look over here, you know, jobs that women were just not able to get before. Now, white, black, red, yellow women can also get these jobs. We work together with the black community. As you know, white women really worked hard for the vote, and the black man got the vote first, and then the white, and then the women got the vote. First it went to the black men, and then the women. So please remember women of all colors. And I'm sorry for the people that had to go home. I was texting, you know, posting, please, you know, don't leave, come back, because I was really concerned that people, we weren't, you know, I'm really happy this many people stayed, but there were at least 3 times as many people who would have stayed, but they had to go home. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's speak with you. Yeah, come on forward, ma'am.
Good evening. My name is Darlene Allen, and I am a 49-year resident of Clearwater, Florida. I had prepared a speech, but a lot of the things I wrote have already been said. As I think of Charlie Kirk, and I must admit I did not know a lot about him when he died. But because of the publicity and the outpouring, I said, who is this man? Now, he should not have been killed. Nobody should. I would never support that. And I support free speech. But the vile things that he said, he would not appreciate me standing up at this podium, because he would say I am unqualified. I am grieving, not about Charlie Kirk. I feel sad for his wife and children. But 2 days after he was killed, my 16-year-old nephew laid down and did not wake up. All you hear is about Charlie Kirk. And as I reflected on Charlie Kirk's life and Jakari Moore's 16-year-old life, Jakari Moore had more love, compassion, care, friends than Charlie Kirk probably ever had. Yeah, Charlie Kirk had a lot of people supposedly at his funeral. I couldn't look at it. We just laid my nephew to rest Saturday. I didn't look at Charlie Kirk's thing. But what I saw at Jakari Moore's funeral, he was a basketball player. He was a track runner. And he was a leader. He kept kids straight. They got up and said, if it wasn't for him, I would have went astray. He was the leader of prayer. He led prayer. As a matter of fact, they said he was the only one on the team that knew the Lord's Prayer. Jakari's heart and mind had not been infected with this prejudice, this racism that is tearing our country apart. Jakari, I know where he's at. He's resting in peace. I don't know where Charlie is.
Thank you, ma'am.
Council, I had originally said I wasn't going to say anything, but one of the things that came to mind, I don't know if you know the story of Joseph, and his brothers sold him into slavery. And then there was a famine, and his brothers had to go to Joseph to ask for food. And they were afraid because they said, you know, we were evil and mean, and we threw him into the pit, and now he's going to get even. But if you know the rest of the story, what Joseph said to his brothers, what you meant for evil, God meant for good. So tonight, no matter what and how we got here, Ryan, God used you for good. Even though you didn't know it, you didn't know how this was going to turn out, because the tears that I have seen, the broken hearts that I've seen, the mending of spirits that I have seen tonight was designed and ordained out of something that could have been so terrible. So like so many, I had plenty of things I could say, but I think everybody has said it all. Good night. God bless.
I wasn't going to say, my name's Ernesta. I am a small business owner. I was not going to speak. The only thing I want to say is that I'm overwhelmed with emotion because the trauma that everyone is reliving from just that little act of putting that person's name, wanting to put someone's name on something that has invoked so much divisiveness, but also most of these people had no idea who he was. I had no idea. And to think that you guys would even contemplate having the conversation is mind-boggling to me. Because Florida is notorious for being racist. It is. And Clearwater, I have lived in St. Pete, Newport Richey, I've been to Miami, and Clearwater was actually the first place I moved to. And I'm from Philadelphia, I'm not original, sorry guys. I'm from Philly, but it was the first place I moved to where I actually felt comfortable to go out, to meet people, because it's such an eclectic group of people, gay, straight, old, young, international people. And I always tell my friends, like, oh, what's Florida like? I'm like, I live in Clearwater. It's great. I'm by the beach. Our issues are not, we have conversations, but to see that it's just simmering. And as elected officials, you have to be mindful. Freedom of speech is great, but you're responsible for what comes out of your mouth and the consequences that come with that. And you're responsible for what you put on that paper to then bring to the floor. So everyone in this room has to relive some racial trauma, some any type of trauma, be a woman, a gay person, anyone, we're reliving it. And you as a white male get to sit in your privilege and watch. So please be mindful. No one is here. I don't know any of you guys. I voted. I looked at everybody. But I vote consciously. But I am more conscious now after tonight. Be mindful. We are all, and look at the people that are here. These people came out because it struck a chord. And if we weren't here, who knows if you guys would have said yes. I'm not saying you would, but we don't. So I just want to say that be mindful. Be mindful. We do vote. We vote in numbers.
Is there anyone else here that wants to be heard on this that hasn't had a chance to speak? Okay. Hey, well, we're getting ready to wrap up, so you're going to be able to go home. But I do want to thank you for coming out tonight and speaking, and I'm glad you had a chance to share that. I also want you to know, if you didn't speak tonight, but you wrote something to us, we read those. I read them. Unfortunately, because of the issue we had earlier on the agenda, where there was computer-generated mails come to us on another issue, I couldn't respond to everyone that I got. But I know a number of my colleagues did respond to your emails, but we read them. So appreciate you coming out tonight. But anytime you have something to share by email too, or send us those, because we do read them as well. So thank you for coming. Thank you for helping me get through that part of the meeting, and thank you for your attendance tonight. And with that, we'll move to item 11, closing comments by council members. Yeah, we have just a couple items. So if you could just be quiet as you exit the room. Yeah.
It's not over.
Thank you. Yeah. Closing comments, item 11, closing comments by council members. So, Vice Mayor, do you have anything?
Yes.
Sure.
I want to thank everyone that came out, everyone that emailed, everyone that called. Everyone's voice is important. I also had the privilege of attending the celebration of life for Ed Armstrong, and the high attendance spoke volumes about the impact he had on so many. It was clear he was not only respected, but also deeply loved by those who knew him. The stories that were shared reflected a life defined by kindness, integrity, friendship, and much laughter. Being in that room surrounded by people whose lives Ed had touched was a powerful reminder of the legacy that he has left behind. On another note, I also, with Mayor Rector and our city manager, attended this Creative Loafing Best of Tampa Bay Awards. And I was thrilled to see how many Clearwater businesses and people were winners, and I want to congratulate them. Here's just a few. Dropkick Monkeys concert at the Sound, Spice Hot Pot, the original Hooters, Cristino's, Lori Chong Bay Care Diabetes Services, Lucan's Flagship, Cameron Spiteri for Best Barber, the Humane Society, and Clear Sky in downtown also won. I also want to take this opportunity to thank all those who supported me and enabled me to win 2 categories, Best Fashion Designer and Best Politician, a unique combo that deserves a couple of chuckles, don't you think? And with that, I end it.
Yeah, thank you. Councilman Robert.
I got to tell you guys, this has been the most passionate outpouring of people that I've seen since I've been on council. You guys are great. Thank you so much for coming out and really talking from your heart. Each one of you were beautiful. I mean, we really, I'm sorry it came up to touch your heart so much, but I'm glad you came out and talked to us about it. So thank you very much for coming out.
Did you learn anything?
Yeah, very good.
Oh, yeah, sure, we all did.
Yeah, Councilman Menino, anything? Councilmember Godwin, anything?
I appreciate you all. I mean, this is exactly what I was getting at. I appreciate you coming and voicing exactly what you had to say. I mean, truly, I really do. That's what this is about, is for you all not to be in fear, to be able to come and voice your opinions and us have that conversation. So I genuinely appreciate each and every person. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, with that, move to item 12, closing comments by mayor. You know, we had 2 controversial things on the agenda tonight, and a lot of differences of opinion. But one thing I've learned in a year and a half as mayor is we are all stronger together. And we have more in common than we have differences. And that sometimes we need to talk through tough issues, and tonight we did. And I appreciate those of you who came out to do that. But we have so much potential as a community. When I see these kids growing up here and to make this city better and this community better, but it all starts with the folks that came out tonight to share their thoughts. And I encourage you all to continue to do that. Share your thoughts on how we can all work together to make Clearwater better. So with that, I don't have anything further, and we will adjourn the September 29, 2025 meeting of the Clearwater City Council.